being, I guess, almost a brother to Mark. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we wanted to let everybody know that he is going to be great and back and better than ever. And that bump in the road's something minor. I know that he can overcome, and it's better days ahead, like we said earlier.
I know Mark will be watching this in the future, and the one thing is he'll get mad at both of us if we hold back, if we don't tell the truth, if we try to sugarcoat it. Mark is always saying, keep it real, 100%. That's what I want to hear. Do not try to bamboozle anybody. Just give it to them straight. That's the way it's got to be, brother.
Yes,
So
keep in mind at the same time, you got to keep it real. That's
always keeping it real.
yes.
So
I'm stronger than he is now. I'm a couple of years older than him, but I'm stronger than he is now. So he won't pin us down or anything, or hit us in the back of the head. So I think you and I are safe. But there in that area.
I'm going to tell you something, Jerry Hood, that even on one leg, I'm going to take Marc Bagwell in a wrestling match over you. Sorry to break it to you. And that's one of the things about his wrestling career. And I went back and watched some of his old matches recently, For a big guy, he was a high flyer. You know what? He took chances out there. He wasn't like Goldberg, spear, slam, done. The man had all the moves. He was out there, and man, he really gave his body to the sport. And for those of you in the millennial generation that maybe have not seen Marc Bagwell, Buff Bagwell in his prime, go on YouTube, check out some Buff Bagwell championship matches. And man, he was an exciting wrestler, one of the hottest talents when he was in his prime. And he was just so much fun to watch in the ring on every level.
Oh, no doubt. He always, I guess, pre WCW, was a big flying Brian Pillman fan, and seeing that, and seeing Rey Mysterio Jr. and he didn't care if Mark weighed 260 or if he weighed 200, he was going to be flying off the top rope, and that was one of his deals that he always wanted to show everybody. It didn't matter how big or how buff. He was going to come off the top rope and do whatever it took to make it a great match. And I think that was part of, there was no fear there, and I think that was part of when he and Rick Steiner got tangled up in Colombia. Mark didn't care. We're going to come off the top rope. You flip me over. We're going to this, that. And, unfortunately, he broke his neck there, but no fear, and got back in it. No fear again, flying off the top rope. And the doctor saying, you don't need to do this because of this, this, and this. His neck was fused back together, as you know, and he didn't care. He said, if I come back and I make a comeback and I'm better than ever, I've got to give 110%, or it's not going to be worth it. And he did, and you see the results, or you saw the results, and there you go.
I think one of the most underrated finishing moves, the blockbuster, which is a snap mare off the top or second rope. Pretty cool freaking move, and you don't see many, if anybody, using that one anymore, because you're almost causing yourself as much pain as you are to your opponent. But it was a great finisher.
Oh, no doubt. Something, pretty sure he came up with that by himself, but just the no fear part, and talking about Rick Steiner, and doing the body slamming us, I'm thinking it's a joke. Running the ropes, you've heard that term before. Running the ropes. If you ran the ropes, and I know you're in pretty good shape, and just running the ropes, here we go. Running the ropes in the day and springing yourself off those ropes or shooting off the ropes, you'd be bruised for 2 weeks. They are that hard. They're not rubber bands. They're plastic covered steel cables, and it is, I say, another toll. Something else that takes a toll on your body. It's that's tough, but again, no fear for him. Flying through the air, flying through the ropes, and hitting somebody outside the ring onto the floor. I mean, he didn't care. He gave 110%.
Do you remember a guy by the name of Santino Marella that was in WWF, WWE? He was the guy with the unibrow.
I do not.
Vaguely?
And
No, you do not. Okay.
I told you I'd met everybody. There's nobody, somebody that I haven't, been around, been with, whatever there. But that does not ring a bell with me right now.
He wasn't a WCW guy. He was a WWF guy, and he was kind of like more of a comedy wrestler with his unibrow. Anyways, he's based here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and he has a wrestling school. And one of my friends is going to be hosting him for an autograph signing. So we're going to be speaking to him about bringing him onto the show and talking about running a wrestling school and what that's about. And if he's up for it, I will go in and happily take some classes because I've never been in a wrestling ring before. And
That's all you there. You'd love that. That's going to be all you.
if I do, you and I will come back on and I'm going to happily show you all the bruises because I guarantee you there's going to be a ton of them.
Oh, it's incredible. That's going to be all you.
I one of the moves, I love the submission moves. So I'd love to learn a figure four or the sharpshooter, something that just causes somebody a lot of pain and feels like their legs are going to snap off. That's pretty cool. Or, the $1 million man had the $1 million dream. I wonder if you could actually put somebody to sleep like that. So if I do learn that stuff, watch out, world, because I'll be coming for you for submissions.
It is on. Yeah, that's great. Talking about going to school and learning, whether you do it as as fun or you're going to do it as a career, learning everything and then actually meshing together with that other person or person rather, sorry. Um, and then making everything work on live TV and then it working and it looking good is just it's beyond belief of how far away it is from it just doesn't work with everybody. A lot of people they watch the wrestling matches back. Let's look at that wasn't a good match, and then so and so thought it was a good. It is there's so much to it and so much involved, and uh, you know what's Eric Bischoff putting and just putting everything together for everybody is just and of course in the input Mark was good at it. Mark could have been a producer and putting together and who knew what and building it up and making it a story, the storyline. He's incredible. Like when he says he comes back to the Georgia Dome or wherever and David Flair beats him. He just says that why that makes no sense. And he was good at that, and he knew what worked, what didn't work, what looked good, how to speak live. He never wrote anything down. There's a lot to it. Yeah, who knows? You may get into it, and pay 10 grand and train, and I'll have to be your agent though if you do it. I'm running low on money, I think, and maybe we can put something together.
Well, maybe you'll be my opponent. Maybe we'll have a grudge match. You know what? Maybe we'll have some heat and I'll be saying some words and you're not going to like them. And then we're going to have to settle our differences in the ring. But, it's funny because with Mark, I always thought of 3 different roles for him. And I told him if I was AEW, Impact Wrestling, NWA, and I've messaged him many times and told him this, I'd be calling this guy up as a manager, as far as on screen time or being a ring commentator or a producer helping with the storylines. Mark has given his life to wrestling, and I don't know anybody stronger on the mic than him. And, as he gets better and, his life and career evolves, you're going to see him again on TV one day. I just have a really good feeling, and, William Regal, what he's doing with AEW and helping in the background, plus on-air talent. Somebody, some tag team, with incredible bodies are going to need a guy as a mouthpiece and who's done it before. That's going to be Buff Bagwell. I see it happening for him.
Oh, for sure. I know there's a few things in the works now, even to this day. Of course, once he gets through the hiccup here, like I say, a couple things is still in the works, and you're right. We probably will see him on TV here in the next little bit. So we hope for the best.
One guy I would challenge out there is Mr. Stone Cold Steve Austin. because he's got his podcast. I think he has a couple more viewers than we do, which is fine. He's been doing this for longer than us, but he
Sure.
brings on anybody and everybody in the wrestling world and is not afraid of controversy. I think it's time for Marc Bagwell to be on the Stone Cold podcast and Stone Cold to give it straight and have a good conversation. I knew that they were together in WCW, and Stone Cold gets it. Stone Cold had his share of issues, legal troubles, and he persevered. And look where he is today. Man, he got a huge pop at the last WrestleMania. So if anybody knows about second, third chances, it's Stone Cold. So if I was going to say, besides Dallas, being in Mark's corner, is Stone Cold, let's get Marc Bagwell, Buff Bagwell onto your show, buddy.
Mark did, you'd have to Google it or maybe go to YouTube, but Stone Cold had Mark on there back early on. I don't
Yes.
know if you caught that.
Yeah, but it was long,
yeah,
long time ago.
sure.
Yeah.
And Steve and Mark always got along, and they were great friends and still are to this day. And yes, Stone Cold could bring him on now and to tell, sort of the similar to what we've done, the real story, not WCW or WWE and what happened, the everything from A to Z. If they want to start it out with that, only thing is I don't know if Stone Cold has 3 days to do a podcast nonstop,
I
But
don't. Yeah, he'll have to limit Mark's stories because Mark, when he goes on his stories, going to be going on for 3 days, literally. But I could see that really a good segue right now is to where things are in the wrestling world, given that Vince McMahon is retired, Triple H has essentially taken over as far as running the day to day. Guys that were out of the picture are now starting to come back to WWE, so it's really good to see. And the one guy that I think it's time to mend the fences and WWE to open up the gates is for Buff Bagwell. And that would be an amazing segue one day to a Wrestling Hall of Fame induction, because to me, it's not just a WWE Hall of Fame, it's a Wrestling Hall of Fame. And it's all about somebody who has given their life and career to the sport and has provided contributions. And you look at his era, I don't know if there was much of a bigger star than Buff in that category. And I hope that we live to see it, that he's going to have his Hall of Fame induction one day, because it is sorely due. And that'll just be segueing to more items. Look, appearing at that wrestling convention will be the Steiner brothers. And people said that Scott will never be back and Scott will never go into the Hall of Fame. And Scott told them that he would piss on his Hall of Fame plaque before he goes in there. And guess what? He did. So if Scott is in there, we're going to bring Buff in there. And that's all there is to it. And if I have to go drive to Connecticut personally and wait outside the door and badger them, I will do it, whatever it takes. But this is a Wrestling Hall of Famer, period.
no doubt. I think he will get a second chance. And he talks to a lot of those guys every day, every week, monthly. And somebody somewhere there, whether it be all the way up to, Triple H or the McMahons, they know. And whether there's another invitation or how soon it comes, I think he will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And then, I know his dad be really proud of that, and his mom would be as well if she was here with us. But yeah, that's going to be better days as well.
And unfortunately, sometimes it takes the passing of people to bring people closer. And I think that the passing of Scott Hall recently, I think, was a big blow to the community. I think, people were very close to him, loved him, and that brought together a lot of people, including the former NWO members. And Mark was a part of that. And I think people waking up and saying, you know what, I think we need to cherish the people while they're alive and not just when they're gone. And so when you're lucky enough to have somebody special that works so damn hard, falls down, comes up, and is stronger than ever, let's embrace them now. Much the way with Jake the Snake. Jake was finished for a long time. People didn't think he was going to make it. And look at him now, and it's incredible the work again that Dallas has done. And seeing Scott while he was still alive looked incredible, and the work that he put in. So it's just fantastic. And that's where, even now with the show Change or Die, I was saying at some point, we're going to have to do a spinoff show from this, and we're going to have to talk to Dallas about this because Mark is such a strong presence. I just didn't understand the premise of the show in that he was the only wrestler. There was Butterbean as the YouTuber boxer and a bunch of people losing weight. And it's kind of interesting to watch the dynamic. I get that. And it's fun to see Mark with people that don't really fit into the wrestling community and they're kind of all conglomerating together. That's cool as a show. I get that. But I would love to see a spin-off show then as Mark as the proof that comes out stronger than ever. And now let's bring in other wrestlers that are needing of assistance and let Mark be the mentor. And I think that'd be a fantastic show as well. So I think, something to keep in mind as this thing progresses, you'll see Mark will come out on top. And I think more opportunities like that will come up for him.
Yeah, no doubt. I think Dallas would be open to that as well. Dallas had said in the beginning of Change or Die that he told Mark that, hey, look, I'm going to drive, and that means I'm in control. And I think if he does that, I think if he comes back and they do that, and Dallas is 100% in control, and he's driving, Dallas is probably open to that. You should probably reach out to Dallas, and it'd be a great idea. It
Well,
could be big.
I can tell you that I have been reaching out to Dallas's people for some time now, and Dallas's schedule is full for the year as far as his commitments go. It's totally cool. But we certainly want to see him on the Real Marc Bagwell, a wrestling docuseries. So the invitation is there. I reached out to his people, told them a personal thank you for the work that they are doing and to offer our love and support and anything they need from our series. We are happy to do that. And I can tell you that, one of my highlights from a wrestling interview career, and I've touched upon this before, that in a previous life, I did interview Diamond Dallas Page over 10 years ago when I was actually baseball blogging out of all things. And he was starting up a little something called DDP Yoga. So we got connected at that point in time. He was just starting it off. And man, he was full of energy and excitement. It was incredible. That was a great 1 hour conversation that we had together. I felt very, enthralled as far as feeling his energy, did not even know where he was going to be going with it. And here we are 12 years or so later. Look at where DDP Yoga went. Marc Bagwell is part of it. Jake the Snake was a part of it. Scott Hall. It's just incredible again. And that's where my hat's off to Dallas and his people. And just for people to understand, like, this is a whole operation as far as, the people that Dallas has with him and scheduling everything and working together. And there are people that work very, very hard to make Dallas's production happen. So all the credit to Dallas and his professional team. I think you guys are doing an incredible job. Every Marc Bagwell fan should be reaching out to him and saying thank you and keep watching because they're doing great stuff. And we're all very excited for when Change or Die does air. And the story is still being written, so stay tuned.
No doubt. I can't wait for it to air. And you're exactly right. As far as reaching out, any of the fans, if they could, reach out to you. Period. Reach out to Dallas, DDP. Why? And I know he'd appreciate it. And when the show comes out, you're right, once it airs. And I'm not sure when it does, but I can't wait. But we'll find out and post that as soon as we can.
I figured it'd be airing, shortly, but I didn't realize it was still filming. My understanding was that there was so much content and where it was going. Dallas extended it, and Dallas kept Mark there. They discussed it. Mark was going to leave. Mark ended up coming back because Dallas wanted to keep it going because it was that damn good. And the proof is that obviously the show has brought out a lot out of Mark because it did show him the light that he needs to make more changes. So the show's been very positive that way. I'm sure as heck as my name is Jonathan that all of this will be on the show at some point. So it'll be great, great viewing. We are all very, very, very excited about it. And Dallas will be there at the convention on November 25 to 27 in North Carolina. Scott and Rick Steiner are going to be there. And as of right now, it's scheduled to be an American males reunion between Marc Bagwell and Scotty Riggs. So, woohoo, if you were a big WCW fan back in the day, almost everybody's going to be there. It's going to be a ton of fun.
It is. It's going to be great. I wish I could make it. We are going to be out of town. Then if something changes, I'll definitely let you know. But we may be in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and who knows if it's too snowy or we can't fly in, or we may change plans, and then we may just come up there with you.
Buddy, I don't know too many people that plan to do fishing in November 25 in Wyoming. So you must be a big fan of the song Rap is Crap. Back in the day, Kurt Hennig, when they were the Texas Rednecks, and talk about how he loves country music and the lifestyle that goes along with it. And when you told me I'll be fishing in end of November, I thought rap is crap. This guy will be listening to country music while he's doing it. It's going to be a fun convention. Certainly hope that obviously that Mark will be appearing as scheduled right now and all the people. But man, it's like the who's who. I've never met Scott Steiner. Be nice to see him. Compare my guns to his guns. I'm pretty sure he's going to win that one. But again, it's just neat. If you are a wrestling fan and why we're all doing this, we all come to wrestling at different points. And it's a rite of passage where you're saying, yes, I was a fan back in the day. I was a fan as a teenager. When you actually say, I'm an adult and I don't care, I love wrestling, it's the best feeling. I was just at a Monday Night Raw taping here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And I got to tell you, Jerry, the place was slammed. People were going bananas, people of all ages. And it's the best feeling to just be live and watch wrestling.
Oh, it's a lot of fun traveling back in the day and doing it. Wouldn't trade it for anything. Watching it as a kid. After I was 11 or 12, I really didn't. Wasn't a wrestling fan until he came to me with the idea of wrestling, and I was like, wow, we kind of got back to watching it a little bit. Never really WWF that much or WWE, but WCW, meeting everybody, and then becoming friends, and then friends of our families, and so forth. You're still, I guess, once a fan, always a fan. Like saying meeting Dusty Rhodes for the first time at one of my family's dealerships was a bigger thrill than meeting Michael Jordan, and that was just I meant that. And Michael Jordan's great, nothing against him, but you're right. Being a grown adult and doing it is no different than coming home every day and playing video games against your friends, and you're 40 years old or 45 years old, and playing video games. It's the same thing. I don't do video games, partly because I'm terrible at them, and partly because my school teacher won't let me. She said no video games. So no, she did. I'm just kidding. But no, it's the same thing. You're right. But you just have to, like I say, let it all hang out and have fun and do it.
Always, always, always. Well, if you're in the mood for some laughs and tongue in cheek, the most comments we get on this show is generally on the YouTube channel. So you go to the Kormans YouTube channel, and we have on there the Real Marc Bagwell, the wrestling docuseries. That's where we air the video portion of it. And as well, we do a lot of clips on our TikTok channel as well for Kormans, Kormans. And the people on TikTok, I would say, are the most brutal by far. And they feed off one another. It's like cockroaches, and they just conglomerate, and they just feed off one another off crumbs, and it spirals out of control. So as long as you have a thick skin and you can take it as humor, as hopefully most of them intend it, the TikTok channel is where you got the comments. You got YouTube, a little bit on Instagram as well. And when you are seeing responses, generally they are me. I have a lot of fun with people. And you just got to take it for what it is. Some people do cross the line a little bit, but that's social media for you. And those are the armchair quarterbacks. We can't escape those. But I will encourage a lot of people that are watching, positive, neutral. You got something to say with intelligence, you can back it up. Go ahead, give us your best shot. Go on the social media, comment on the episode. Tell us what you think about Marc Buff Bagwell, watching the series, The Real Marc Bagwell. Let's hear your comments. Have you met Marc before? You're a big fan. You don't like the guy. Why? Everything is fair game. Let's hear it. But again, the main point is we really want to emphasize the positivity, and please share it. We will be sharing them with him as well. He loves hearing from his fans. So share them all with us, please. And stay tuned, because again, the singer from American Males, I'm not going to say the name, but you've never seen him. You've never seen it sung. we're going to get him on here and we are going to sing it live. And so you're actually going to see the person who sang the American Males theme song. It's going to happen. And a lot more exciting stuff to come on the Real Marc Bagwell. Jerry, as always, a pleasure. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come share with us and spreading the positivity, letting us know how the family's doing, keeping connected with Mark. And any final words you have for the fans?
No, just I'm worried about just the negativity too. Like you said, it's not good. But the first person that comes out with this, you got to write this down now. The first person that makes a comment after this airs with a positive comment, you get in touch with them. We're going to send them a prize. Okay.
All right. You heard that. The first person who watched this and aired and sends us their first positive comment, you are getting a prize. I'm going to finish off today with one final story because this is the Real Marc Bagwell. And if you're going to talk about Marc Bagwell, you're going to talk about stories. So
let's do it.
You and I are big baseball fans, right?
No doubt.
We love baseball. Do you remember a guy by the name of Vernon Wells?
I do.
So Vernon Wells was on the Toronto Blue Jays. He got signed to a ridiculous 10-year, $200 million contract or whatever the heck he got. And there's a lot of arguments that he did not earn one penny of that. And eventually got traded away to the California, Anaheim, whatever the hell they were, Angels. Mike Napoli came back for him, but then the Jays flipped him for Francisco Cordero and got me very upset. But I digress. When Vernon Wells was on Toronto, he got a fair share of boos, including from one of my best friends at the time. So my friend is over the Jays dugout and booing at Vernon Wells every chance he got. So after one at bat, Vernon Wells goes down. My friend tells Vernon Wells exactly what he thinks of him, much the way somebody would on Instagram or TikTok. Vernon Wells comes back, pops out of the dugout with a ball, points to my friend and throws him the ball. My friend's like, what? I've been like running this guy all night long and he's giving me a gift? Wow. So he gets the ball. It's not just a ball though, Jerry. It has some writing on it. Vernon Wells sent him a message. It says, listen.
What did it read?
It read, I do not go down to the gas station where you work and pump gas and make fun of how you do your job. Please do not do that to me where I have my place of work.
That's great. I love it.
I was not a big Vernon Wells fan forever. I guess not really am now, but I got to say I respected that. I thought that was pretty awesome. So just remember, as we're closing off today, that Buff Bagwell does not go to the gas station where you pump gas. Not there's anything wrong with that, but he does not rag on you on how you do your job. Maybe think about not ragging on his, and let's send encouragement. Mark, you're working really hard. We love you, buddy. You're doing awesome, and great things are ahead. So let's send that positive energy out there, and let's keep going. 2022 being the year of Marc Bagwell. This is the Real Marc Bagwell, a wrestling docuseries. Thank you very much for viewing, and we'll see you all back soon.
Yo, yo.